So I guess I can go ahead and kind of get things going. I know it's kind of being streamed through my channel, so I'm not going to hear the people on Discord call, but we'll go ahead and get started. I mean, those are some awesome runs, Mario 2, Mario 3, but now it's the grand finale. This is Miyamoto's real masterpiece. It's the game that shows off everything the NES is capable of, Super Pitfall. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready with the countdown. Now, you actually start timing when Harry gains control, so it's like 8 seconds after you press start. So I'm going to try to say just go once he starts moving, and then we'll get going. But yeah, this is a fun game. It's going to be pretty quick, hopefully, and we'll go ahead and get going. So here we go. Let it begin, and it'll start here in 5 or 6 seconds. Get the little intro music, and go. Alright, Super Pitfall for the NES. It's an amazing game. There's a lot going on here, and if you're not familiar with the game, it's going to be hard to kind of follow what's happening, because, well, you see there I just died, and that's actually a purposeful death. You're actually not supposed to be able to get through and die there, but by dying on that spot, it actually kind of death warps you down below here. And it lets me skip over a big section of this. Essentially, this whole map is a huge maze, and it's a huge world where you have to kind of meet certain objectives, and you have to collect certain items. So by doing that death abuse, it lets you collect a certain item much quicker. Now, one of the biggest parts of this run is clipping into the wall, and it's a huge RNG spot, so we're going to hope to get a good wall clip here, but this can take a long time. This can take 2 seconds, or it can take 2 minutes. What happens is, I'm pretty much just holding right now. I'm holding right. I'm going to try to jump a little bit and shoot, because it's taking longer than I wanted. But essentially, you eventually move a pixel into the wall, and I just got 2 pixels. So once you get into the wall, you can clip through and jump up. Normally, you would have to collect a key in that spot, but by clipping into the wall, you can jump through it and skip over a large portion of the game. There's going to be several little tricks like that. And then here, I'm doing a trick where you fall down the elevator. Oh, nice, I got the gangster fall. If you press B on the right frame, you'll have your gun animation out while you fall, and it's pretty cool. Now, I took another death, and you're probably wondering, why am I taking a death? Alright, so I just had something bad happen. I just got the diamond glitch, where you die, and you actually have 1 life when you're supposed to have 2. So that's a little bit of a problem, but we should be okay. There's a couple things that can happen that'll make us not okay, but I think we'll be okay as long as we don't get kind of a weird death anywhere. Because you saw I died a few times on purpose, and I'm going to continue dying on purpose because at the end of the game, the objective is to actually game over. Because by game overing, after you collect all the items, you get to beat the game. So I'm not going to die here, even though I normally would, because I got that glitch where I lost a life. So it's kind of weird that happens. I don't quite understand why it happens, but sometimes when you collect that diamond, you don't get the extra life. You're supposed to get one at 50,000 points, 80,000 points, 180,000 points, and 280,000 points, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Now here's the best music in the game, the balloon ride music. It's pretty amazing, and this is going to be a cool trick that Game Glitch guy who ran this game came up with, because in the past we'd have to do 2 of those wall clips that we talked about before. But by doing this balloon trick, you actually only have to do 1 wall clip, which makes the game a lot easier and a lot less RNG heavy. So we're going to try to get through here, but this part's a little bit tricky. So we made it through. You kind of have to clip into that wall and sneak by that spider, and you can kind of skip over another big section of the game. So at this point, I need to kind of think about where my lives are at, because getting that 1-up thing kind of, you're not supposed to have that happen. I was supposed to have 2 lives after falling down that elevator. So I gotta kind of think here. So right now, I should have 2 lives, because I got the point total. So I think I'm where I should be. But, kind of strange. I haven't had that happen in a run in a while, so hopefully it doesn't cause any other problems, but I think we should be fine. I think we're good. Now we're going to take another death here. This death is actually called the OP Water Snake death. And the good thing about this death, most of them you just respawn where you died, but this one, I'm going to die in the water, and I'm going to respawn over to the left. So it's going to push me forward on the path that I'm trying to take. So it actually saves you 2 seconds versus the normal death. Because what happens when you die, it takes about 11 seconds to respawn, But in this case, by kind of being pushed forward farther to the left, by dying in that spot, it saves you 2 seconds over dying in some other spot. So I should probably pay more attention to how many lives I have, because I'm assuming I'm good. I'm assuming I have 2 lives right now, and I'm going to take 2 deaths. Like, alright. So this is kind of a ladder clip there. I missed it on the first try, but then I got it on the second try. Not too bad. It's kind of a cool trick that was actually pretty recently found. Eat It Up 86, I think his name is. He was working on this game as well, because it was part of the Big 20, another Best of the NES amazing event that they do, these Big 20 races. This game was part of that, and a lot of people started picking it up and playing it, and it really got pretty broken. I mean, the record used to be, I think, about 6:07, and now it's all the way down to 5 minutes, so this game has really seen a lot of activity, and that ladder clip was not known in the past, but it's pretty cool where you can kind of clip through that ladder into the wall and save a big chunk of time. So I'm pretty sure I have 1 life here, I hope so. Alright, I have 2 lives. It doesn't really matter too much, because at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to save Rhonda, and that is the ultimate goal of this game. I collected the 5 items, I saved Rhonda, and now what I have to do is I have to kill myself and game over. This game kind of has a twist ending, a little bit like Mario 2. Let me make sure I don't get an extra life here. And time. So weird space to have the timer be. I kind of just brought that out of nowhere, so if you didn't stop the timer exactly then, not a big deal. But that was Super Pitfall. Now we're going to keep it on here because why would I say time after I game overed? You're going to see in a moment here, if you game over after satisfying all of the win conditions in the game, collecting all the items and saving the girl, the game will take you to the demo screen when it restarts. But when the demo screen goes, it thinks you've already collected all the items and have the win condition, so it flashes and says congratulations. So if you look at it, bam, congratulations, we did it, we beat Super Pitfall. That's the game. It's an interesting game. That went faster than I thought, so I didn't get to explain some of the deeper intricacies of Super Pitfall. It's one of the deepest speedruns in the history of the world. But it was a pretty good run overall. It was kind of weird the way it played out, though. That whole diamond glitch thing kind of threw me off a bit. I'm sure it makes no sense to anybody except for like 10 people that have played this before. It's a weird glitch that happens, but it doesn't really mess you up too much as long as you're prepared for it. And I was pretty prepared for it. The rest of the run went pretty well. There weren't any major mistakes. I ended up having an extra life at the end that I wasn't expecting, which is kind of weird, but it's still a good time. But yeah, essentially, if you play this game, what they really want you to do, or what you would be intended to do, is save the girl. Because essentially, you might have noticed I was getting some objects throughout the game. What you do is you collect a diamond, you collect a key to the lion's cage, and then you save the lion a little bit later on. You collect a cure for Rhonda's illness, and then you give her the cure and save her. Those are kind of the 5 objects and tasks you have to complete. And then after you complete them, what you can do is you can walk all the way back to the beginning of the game, which takes like another 3 or 4 minutes, and then the screen magically flashes and you get that same congratulations screen. Or you can do what I did and take that game over, which is the fastest way to do it, and you still get the congratulations screen. So, interesting game. I'll stop kind of talking about it because we kind of move on, but if you didn't understand that game, if you thought it was weird, if you thought it was stupid, if you thought it was awesome, let me know. Look into it more, watch some speedruns of it, try picking it up yourself. It's a really fun game to learn, and definitely, I didn't get it the first time I saw it, so you need to watch it many, many times. You really need to kind of engulf yourself into the Super Pitfall community to really understand what just happened, and I think if you do, you'll be pleasantly surprised by how awesome it is. But anyway, that's enough rambling for now. Let's move on to Turtles. Yeah, Turtles is good. I'm going to get that set up here, so just give me 1 sec.